Another day and another entrepreneur that we'll be having a chat with. I would really like to believe that you guys are enjoying the videos, and do not forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. Ring the notification bell, and leave your comment below so that we know what you think. Today we'll be having a chat with a gentleman by the name Thabiso. He'll be telling us all the insights on what he does. Please don't leave. Take a walk with me.
Take a walk with me. Let's share how we
Dumela, Thabiso, how are you?
I'm good, and you, Mokgadi?
I'm good. Welcome to Mokgadi Legacy.
Thank you. Thank you for the invite.
It's got a pleasure.
I'm honored to be here.
It's a pleasure.
Awesome.
It's a pleasure. So please tell us who Thabiso is, where he's from.
So I was born bred in Alex.
Yes.
I grew up there most of my primary school, and then high school went to KZN, came back to finish grade 11 and 12 here.
Yeah.
Went to varsity here at Wits. So I've basically lived all my life in Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so coming to finishing school, what did you get into? What is the first thing that you wanted to do? And
So I got into graphic design, but before graphic design I was studying architecture. So the reason I got into architecture is because someone came to our school selling architecture as this ultimate career where all the money is at. If you can draw, that's all you need. But when I got into VET, I realized that it's not as...
It's not exactly how they sold it to you.
It was quite a lot of mathematics that's needed. So the stuff is very small compared to the technical side.
Exactly, yeah.
So I struggled a bit, and during my time there, I came across someone who was in graphic design who was coming to do a presentation.
Yeah.
And I just loved what he was showing me, and I just felt like this is what I need to do. So I spoke to him and I asked him more about it. That's when he introduced me to it. Then I went to Design School of South Africa.
Yeah.
I also got into it for a year, struggled with funds, but I loved the whole thing they were training me on.
Yeah.
So unfortunately I did not finish my studies.
Due to funds, so you said?
Due to funds, yeah.
Okay.
But that didn't stop me. So I got a friend who also did graphic design, who gave me the softwares, who showed me the ins and outs of it. Yeah. The rest was just tutorials, sitting in front of my computer, trying different things.
Self-taught.
Yeah, basically. Well, taught by the streets and taught by the
that's
people
quite interesting.
on YouTube.
Yeah. You know, it actually gets to show that if you really want something, it doesn't really matter how challenging it may get.
Yeah.
You try find a way on how to go about it and get to it.
Yeah.
So when it comes to AlexBiz, what inspired that? How did you get there?
So it all started when I got into business in 2011. So basically the craziest thing, I got married in 2010.
Yeah.
In December.
Yeah.
So just a month later, I just decided, no, I've had enough of work.
Yeah.
I want to get into business.
Yeah.
So I dropped everything. So my wife also said, nah, if you're going to do this, I'm going to do it with you.
Ah, that's beautiful.
So we both got into business full time.
Okay.
And then in a short space of time, we found out we were pregnant as well. So here we are, self-employed.
Yeah.
And the baby is coming.
Baby's
we
on the
left
way.
our security and we got into it. But we decided we're not going to go back. We really felt strongly that this is what we needed to do. Yeah. So we got into business. Fortunately for us, we had like people who really loved what we do, and they started referring us to their companies. Yeah. But unfortunately, when it came to support from like business institutions that are created by government to assist us, we were not really lucky. We went to NYDA, it was Umsobomvu back then. We got into different people trying to get funds for us to be able to keep going. We attended workshops, and you know, you'd spend the whole day there, but you'd come back without anything.
Proper concrete information,
So we felt like a lot of these workshops, things that they create for entrepreneurs, they mean well, but they bring the wrong people to run it. It's people who are employed, who don't really see the sacrifice of an entrepreneur leaving their home with their last money.
I mean, they're also making a living.
Yeah.
They're they're working.
So for me, the pain was not so much that they bring people who have jobs, but people who don't understand business and who don't even have a heart for entrepreneurs, because you know they did not give their all, and so that's how AlexBiz started. When I now, having established myself as a business person, grown my business to employ people, I thought, why not create a space that would be ideal for me? You know, in 2011, that kid who decided to leave everything to get into business. So we started our own thing.
So since you spoke about your wife, is it the two of you guys, or you have the other members that are involved in the...
So we're the main partners, and then we've got people that work for us.
How many people?
At the moment it was 4. Because of COVID, we are in that time, we had to drop a few. So we currently outsource a lot of the freelancers from outside. So it's people that we are paying, but they're not fully employed with us. But the business is doing quite well. We are inundated with a lot of orders because people have moved to digital now. You know, we are in a space where we are providing web services, social media services. So people need to go online. So the workload is quite piled up a bit. So the business has picked up.
Okay, and then in terms of, let's say, the businesses that you're actually in, how do I put it? That you're in contact with, or rather the ones that you are trying to build. How many are they, and
under AlexBiz?
Yes, under AlexBiz. And how do you get them? What are the requirements that you're looking for in order for them to be part of AlexBiz?
At the moment, we're sitting at 120 that are registered or are in our WhatsApp group. We also have a form, 120. Yeah. So, but then we also have people who are not in the group, but they will attend our workshops. When we have breakfast, they will come. So we're actually targeting people who are really serious about growing their businesses.
So in terms of, let's say I am a business owner, do I have to be registered, or I just come and then you guys can help me register? How do you go about that process?
As long as you have a business idea. So we're not looking for people who are established per se. We want people who want to grow. So we're creating a space for businesses to grow. So if you have an idea, that's all you need. You just come, we help you, connect you with people who can register you, people who can fund you. So we kind of created a space where we can connect you to the people.
That's like a business hub.
Yes.
That's a business hub.
Sort of, but we want to go beyond that. We want to also have, you know, like an online presence where anyone, anywhere can just go in and receive the content. So we have people who are good writers who want to blog about business. So we're going to have a page that just speaks into that. So we don't want to be restricted by a physical area. We want to take this online. So since lockdown started, we've been doing workshops online. So we invite people like GEP to come, business experts, people who are doing well in
I was
something.
actually part of one, what's this meeting that you guys had.
Okay, awesome.
So,
how was it?
It was beautiful. It was beautiful because you get to understand and see that there's a lot of youngsters that are actually passionate about what they're doing, and they want more information about, you know, what is happening around their areas and everything. So it's quite inspiring, and I love what you're doing. You know?
Thank you.
It's quite beautiful.
I think people are hungry for information. It's just where it's supposed to be coming from. Those people are not giving it out. You know, there's a lot of like gatekeepers. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. So we want to be at a place where if you want someone's contact, why not get it? You know, like we shouldn't
I mean, what's the point of saying we have this information, but you don't give it to the proper people? You know, So in the, how many? You said how many years is AlexBiz now?
It's only started in 2019.
2019,
so
so
officially a year now.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
We started this time last year.
Yeah. So what are the bigger projects that we must be looking out for, you know, in the future?
So there's an organization that we started AlexBiz with called Rays of Hope. They do a lot of community work in Alex, but they also connected with a lot of key business people in Sandton. So now we're trying to bridge the gap between Sandton and Alex. So we are in communication with Sandton Precinct, so that they can also give people from Alex an opportunity to present their business and hopefully do business with them.
True.
So we're going to have a pitching event coming soon. As soon as things ease off, we're going to be launching an Alex Africa Day. That's going to be coming. So we want to bring as much activity around. Because the other thing, if you look at places like Soweto, Ekurhuleni, they're doing very, very well when it comes to entrepreneurship. A lot of events are focused there. You know, not a lot of things are happening in Alex. Unfortunately, the people who are managing that side of business, they're not doing it. They're not reaching the people.
Reaching out to the proper people.
We want to take control of that in a way. Yeah,
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And then I heard you talking about the, is it breakfast or
business breakfast?
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you go about that, and what happens there?
So we normally get like someone who's an expert in an area.
Yes.
And then invite people who are in line with that
a line
service.
Of business that okay.
So the last event we had a photographer called Charles Johnson.
Yeah.
He's one of the best photographers in SA.
Oh, beautiful.
So he came into our business breakfast, and we invited people who are in the media or into photography to come for that. So we also invite a chef from Alex to do the breakfast for that day.
I love this because
so
it's like,
everything.
You know, it's a variety, all types of businesses.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Sure.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So let's say there's a youngster out there, you know, that's actually watching this right now. What is the message that you would want to give them so that they can push further to into whatever it is that they want to do? Yes.
I think the fact that you have an idea, you know, you're already winning.
Yeah.
You know, not a lot of people are brave enough to just take this thing that they just got and start to put it into paper. So the first thing is that once an idea hits you, write it down, because ideas come all the time. So if you write it down, you are able to remember it and run with it. You know? So it's important to capture the idea, write it down. Don't treat it like it's a complete thing. You need to test it.
True.
So now that you have the idea, you need to now go and see if there's a market for it. So try it out with different people. Create a minimum viable product, meaning that you don't have to have the best yet. Just start with what you have.
What you have, exactly.
So if you are wanting to get into perfumes, before you create your own flavor or scent, I don't know what you call it, try selling what's already existing, create a market, and then you can introduce your new thing as you are growing and you are making funds, relationships, and suppliers and stuff.
Okay, from what you said, you know, I've got a bit of a challenge with the young ones nowadays. We have a sense of entitlement, right? And then we have impatience, you know. So how would you advise somebody to work around that? Because it really needs to be worked on. You know, we need to tap into that so that they know that a career or whatever business you're building, it doesn't grow in a day or in a month. You have to be patient. You know.
No, that's true. I think there's two things. It's good and bad to have that intelligence. You need to have the confidence to want to ask for something. You know, some people will come to you and say, "Just plug me into what you are doing." So you do need that, but at the same time, you also need the patience. To just go with the process and learn what you need to know, because some opportunities come too early and they could really destroy you.
And you were not ready. Exactly.
I've had a few of those when I was starting out. In 2011, as I said, I got an opportunity to be interviewed on national TV, and then a big corporate came to us asking for us to deliver something. but we did not have the capacity to do it, you know.
Yeah.
And obviously you can't say no. You're hungry.
Yeah, you have
want
to try.
grow.
You have to try and fail.
Yeah,
you know,
and it became a failure, and we lost that client.
But at least now you know, through that mistake that you made, you learned something, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But imagine if I was ready, that client could have been still existing.
Yeah.
So it's always good to start off by just humbling yourself and start from the bottom. If you want to be, you know, on TV or in front of the camera, start off behind the scenes, learn the business.
But then, you know, I'm looking at it in a different way. From what you're saying, that mistake, it actually presented itself. You didn't go to it. That's a different story. You know, if you go to it and then you're not ready, then that's your problem. You created that problem by yourself, you know. So that opportunity actually came to you in a way that it was a test, and it worked out well because you learned something from that. You know?
No, I totally agree. I think the big thing is just if you are starting and you really want to get into this thing, learn the business.
True.
Learning the business, it's you making coffee in that office,
and you
attending the meetings and just writing the notes, you know. Before you start presenting and doing all sorts of things, start behind the scenes and just learn, like listen, watch the process. So I was fortunate enough, before I started my business, I was working in a similar business for another company. And I told the previous employee that I want to learn this so that I can become my own boss one day. And she was very kind enough to teach me. So whenever there's a meeting, she would go with me. Whenever there's something that is not related to design, they will still involve me, you know. So I learned the ins and outs, and if it wasn't for that, probably I wouldn't have grown in this. So,
so are you looking to venture into, let's say, other countries besides focusing on Alex or SA? Let me put it that way. With the AlexBiz.
Now, with AlexBiz, it's specifically as it's branded for AlexBiz, but they can be Thabiso Biz, they can be Kailisha Biz, you know, we can grow
tomorrow
this.
You wake up and then the next thing it's in,
you know,
different countries.
My heart is to get it right in Alex. I think if it can work in Alex, it can work anywhere, because Alex is a very unique place where, like, we barely have anything, you know. Whatever space you have is shared. There's a lot of pressure there. So if you can make it in that pressured environment like that,
I must say that I'm very much inspired, you know, when I look at the young ones, and instead of them finishing school and they say they want to go find employment, instead they create their own employment. You know, we need to plant that seed more, because the more we do that, the more we actually get to secure, you know, the future of the next 5 generations, 10 generations, you know.
But that's why we need AlexBiz and similar initiatives, because those young people who take that leap of faith, they get discouraged after a year. If they don't get someone to pick them up, you know. So they need to hear that other people are doing well. So in AlexBiz, we're celebrating each other. So like, if you're doing well, you're going to get applauded. The people are going to encourage you.
Speaking of that, sorry to interrupt you, but then there's one thing that I've actually picked up. Like, people get to sugarcoat that being an entrepreneur, it's, you know, all easy, it's nice, you can just be rich just overnight, and it's not like that. We need to tell them that it doesn't come easy.
It doesn't.
You know,
it took me 2 years. You know, there were times where, you know, things were so bad that all we had was more vibes. You know, there were days where, sorry, where things were really tight. But we knew what we were going towards. We could see the big picture, because we've seen it being done before, and we had a unique way of doing it, and there was a demand. So sometimes it might not pay off immediately, but you know where you're going. You just need to go.
It's a block. You have to keep building.
Yeah, there's a guy who actually taught us a principle. It's called the corridor principle. So imagine you're walking, and on the other end, that's where you want to get into. But as you're walking, there are doors. You don't see them at the beginning, but as you're walking, you see them. So there's certain things that will come as you are going. So each day, you know, it's a step closer to that.
True,
yeah. So
true, I like that.
there's a lot of open doors along the way. There's certain opportunities that I never thought we would be able to have, unless if I had started.
So on social media, how do we get to find AlexBiz?
We have a Facebook page called AlexBiz. Yes. We also have a web page called alexandra.joburg.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can find us on Facebook or on our website.
Okay, and then let's say somebody wants to be in contact with you, like personally, do you do the WhatsApp?
Yeah, so I can be contacted on 082 425 7272.
Please repeat the number again.
082 425 7272.
All right, thank you so much. Still on that, please look into that camera and say, take a walk with me.
Take a walk with me.
Thank you so much. We've come to the end of our chat with Thabiso. I believe that you guys enjoyed watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, ring the notification bell for the next video. From me to you, take a walk with me.